Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Welcome to the Real Female Entrepreneurs. Today's guest is the ultimate door opener to the French market. She runs a translation and French copywriting business that helps lifestyle brands expand into French speaking audiences with creativity and precision. From museums to marketing agencies, she's the genius helping businesses sound chic, authentic, and so French. She's a connector, a wordsmith, and a strategist who bridges languages and culture beautifully. Help me welcome the fabulous Nathalie Reis. Welcome, Nathalie.
Hello, and lovely to be invited here.
I've had copywriters, but not translators.
Well, I hope to impress you a little bit.
So, if you don't mind, tell me what brought you into this world of being a French translator to even copywriting.
Okay, so if I start from the beginning, always wanted to be a translator. As soon as I started learning English, I knew that I wanted to do something with languages. I wanted to be not a translator, but an interpreter, helping communication between two people or two groups of people. So that was the initial ambition. I then changed into translation because I realized I was a lot better at writing than at speaking. I feel a lot more comfortable with pen and paper or computer. I knew this and decided to go for translation from quite a young age and did English and did other languages as well, but focused on English. I did a diploma in translation, the equivalent of PhD. Then I did a master's in business and economics and English in Paris because I loved studying. So I spent more time at uni. And then eventually I settled for this. I met my husband, moved to London. And when I arrived, I didn't have any money. I started tutoring at the Alliance Française in London, teaching business people working in marketing, economics, finance, insurance. They needed French for that because they were either going to move to France or deal with French people every day. So this was a very interesting experience. For a while, I did both in parallel, some translation and some tutoring, getting better at one and the other. In the meantime, my children were born and I adjusted everything to them. My husband had a very demanding job and somebody had to be there for them. So I was that person. But I kept going slowly but steady. To go back to your question, it was about what took me there in terms of my own business. I went from being a simple freelance translator, working for translation agencies, getting jobs, doing my job, sending them out, and that was it. There was a stark moment in this journey. The spark came from the fact that one of my students at the Alliance Française was the CEO of a media training company. She was in London and had managed to land a very big contract with a French magazine publishing house. And so she was going to be that person who went to France and deliver the training, the modules to the French people there. She needed help. She was fluent in French, but she wasn't confident. So that's where I came in. I helped her translate her modules from English into French, added cultural insights and adapted everything, knowing there would be a French audience in front of her. So there might be humor, there might be cultural references, there might be, all sorts of little things as to the way that French like to be addressed and how they learn. And then I helped her deliver a big job. But I realized that I could add a lot of value, offer consultancy to a certain extent, but I could help in that respect and offer advice and be there, hold their hand and give them advice. At this stage, I thought to myself, I can be more than just a translator and have my own business. And that's when I realized all I needed to do was consolidate, learn more, and improve.
Oh, no, you're good. You're telling us your story. I love it. Well,
Yes.
you've been doing this now for how long? 29 years?
So I suppose it's about 29 years, but I would say at full time, it's probably about
20. Okay. But you worked during the time you were having your children and everything. You did it at your pace, which was great to get you into the doors of so many people, I'm sure. So,
yes.
knowing what you've learned in business, that you've
Mm,
been in business close to 30 years, what
yeah.
would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self?
I would probably tell her that you don't need to have everything figured out from the beginning. You've got to have a dream. Although I do find the word dream a little bit strange sometimes because people overuse it. But I think you've got to have a vision. You can go step by step. You don't have to have everything figured out at the beginning. You have to be open to opportunities. Don't say no because you're a translator and they want this and you're not this on paper. Don't say no. See what you can do, how you can help. Be open minded. And that's what I would tell myself. Just be open minded. Don't be scared about grabbing opportunities. Because this job has shown me that every time I've been open to an idea or a suggestion, it's worked.
So, knowing what you've done through the years, what is a key strategy that has helped you grow your business?
I think my key strategy was the baby steps, one step at a time, and get rid of the bad clients. When you start, you accept everyone, don't you? Yes, yes, yes. You've got people who pay you peanuts or don't respect your time. I decided to get rid of one client to make room for a new client. A bad client went, a good one arrived. It was reassessing my client base and, you know, making room for better clients each time, getting rid of some translation agencies. There are some good agencies and you need to keep them. But I turned from agency work to direct client work. That's how I did it. To have better clients and be paid better, to have more interaction with the clients. I think what I liked and my strategy was to be part of the team and work with them as a partner, not just that person who would do one job and disappear from their radar.
Talking about business even more, let's stretch it a little bit further. What is a myth or something you hear entrepreneurs talk about? What is something you wish they would stop believing? It's just not going to happen.
I'd probably say that you don't have to be flawless. It's a myth to be perfect and to know it all. You never know it, but I would say you should be resilient and ambitious. I've always tried to be ready, even when I'm not ready. Do my best. You don't have to be perfect before doing. Do, and then you'll become better.
Being in business for 29 years, you've dealt with lots of scenarios along the way because you have two children that were born during the middle of you growing a business and married and everything else. Can you tell us how you balance that at the different stages of life with the
Yeah.
craziness of business and having a family?
Yes, it's not easy. When they were little, I had to stick to when they were at school. I started with having a nanny who would do 2 days a week devoted to work. Then I sometimes worked a little at the weekend. Then it gradually increased. And yes, you juggle constantly between all of this. And as a woman, I think we just got more balls to juggle. I'm not saying that men don't do a hard job, because I saw what my husband did all those years, and he's a very hardworking person, and he put a lot of his energy and hours. But he had one ball to juggle a little bit with the children at the weekend. But we always have loads of balls to juggle. It goes from school to food to laundry, work. You've got to make that space for work. I also work in the evening and at the weekend when I had a bit of time. My children are young adults. They don't live with us anymore. They're living with boyfriends and girlfriends. But there's still some juggling sometimes. There's the dog, the parents, and various appointments. So I'm a to-do list person. Every Sunday I sit down and I fill my diary with what's happening. And I do block of work. There's client work and exercise, appointments, all sorts of things. I try to stick to it. It doesn't become bonkers. It's a lot more manageable.
I love your word try. I try to go to the gym
Every day? And how many days do you manage?
I try every day. Yeah, I'm one of these people that allow work to override that in the calendar, but I allow work, and I need to not do that.
I've experienced different ways. Do it first thing in the morning, then you stop thinking about it. Then it's, no, I'm fresh, I need to work. Do it at lunchtime, that will be a perfect break. All these emails have arrived, and you stick it in the evening, and in the evening you think, oh, I'm exhausted.
I'm usually with the laptop sitting on the sofa like my husband's watching movies. I totally get it, but you guys just understand we try. So anyway, tell us a little bit about in the future. Give us a sneak peek of what's going to happen with you.
Well, in my business, we've had to pivot. I've pivoted a few times in my life, from translation to this and that. Then I became aware of machine translation and AI. A few years ago, I did a diploma in copywriting to specialize more in the creative industries. Before, I did a lot of economics, and I worked for a lot of NGOs and UN agencies. But then when I saw that machine translation was going to have an increasing impact on the industry, I thought, you love everything that's creative. You love art, tourism, fashion. You love reading about these things. You love writing about these things. Why don't you specialize? Because obviously machine translation hasn't got those creative writing skills. So the future pivoted into this, pivoted into that. Now that AI is on everyone's lips, I've decided to market myself more as a door opener to the French market. Apart from translation, linguistic services, I want to offer much more than that. And I do already, but it's just that I didn't advertise it. So for example, I do market research. I can help clients know what to do to enter the French market, how to do compliance, who to see, legal advice, marketing, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do. I'm becoming more of a door opener, offering more strategy, consultancy, and trying to aim that way. So really be there from the beginning, from the intention of going to France or entering another market to actually getting there. It's language, but it's also other services. There's another service I offer more and more. I work with a couple of marketing agencies. Not only do I help with clients, campaigns and projects, but I also help with multilingual project management. If they need things translated into French, I'm the person. If they need German, Dutch, Spanish, Italian, because I've got a big network of people around me, I can manage the projects for them. They send me the project, the text, the documents, and I get everything done. For them, it's very simple. because it's only one point of contact, one invoice. It makes their life easier. That's how I see the future now, adding value and being less just a translator or a linguist.
All right, let's get on the fun side of life here. Tell me something about you that is surprising or unexpected.
You're not going to believe me. I am a real introvert and I don't react very well to stressful situations. Doing this interview gave me a bit of stress.
You're doing great. I can see you being an introvert, though.
Yes, I am completely.
Well, you've come out your shell for us today.
I hope so. Thank you.
What about a song? Is there a song you love?
I know there are quite a few French songs, but they wouldn't ring a bell. The one of the English songs that I really like and that we all like is We Are Family. That gets me going.
Yeah. Can you give us one of the French songs?
Some Patrick Bruel called Casser la Voix, for example, that gets me going. And also a band called Rita Mitsuko. You wouldn't know them. But yes, they're really good.
That's awesome. Thank you. So, yeah, we need a little French education. We have you here. All right. A book or books?
Books. Okay. French books. I haven't thought about French books, but English books. I try to read one English book followed by a French book. So there's a French author called Éric Emmanuel Schmitt. He writes a lot of short stories. I like short stories and I also like fiction. And one of his series is a collection of short stories about world religions, told in a way that is easy to understand. He uses characters to explain what's at the heart of every religion. Although I'm not religious, I really enjoy those stories. It's in between philosophy and religion.
What about an American English book?
An English book. I love an English book. I've read recently Educated. That was quite hard, but I love that. I also like Sebastian Faulks. And in American literature, when I did my degree in English, it included a big module on American literature. It was about Steinbeck and also, who else did we learn about? I can't remember now, but I did enjoy.
Do you have a favorite quote?
I've got two quotes. One that I use in business and supposedly from Einstein. Intelligence is creativity having fun. That sort of encapsulates everything I'm about, problem solving. So that's my business one. There's one that I always have in my mind. The first time I went to school and started learning English, I was 11. And the teacher wrote on the blackboard, where there's a will, there's a way. The accent was even worse than mine. So he said, where there's a wind, there's a way. I always remember this because it guides me a lot. When you want something, you can achieve it.
That's amazing. Superpower for just 24 hours, one day, what would it be?
There's an obvious one. I'd love to be fluent in absolutely every language and to be that person who just turns from one side to the other and translates everything and makes, all borders, break down borders and, facilitates communication. That would be my first superpower. Another one would fly, but that's more for pleasure.
Well, you could fly and communicate effectively and fix all the problems.
Maybe I'll write to Santa Claus for both. It's Christmas.
Granted. Sometimes we can run on empty as business owners. Do you mind giving us something that motivates you?
If I haven't got what I call my mojo, I don't sit at my desk because it doesn't work. I just need to stand up and do anything. Go for a walk, dance, call a friend, the nature, something like that. But I do not stay at my desk because it won't work. I need to break that lack of motivation. And then when I come back, it's easier.
Great tip. Thank you. The
Just,
best way for our audience to stay connected with you.
okay. Well, I'm quite active on LinkedIn. So I'd love to connect with new people on LinkedIn. I use Instagram, but more personal things. So I think LinkedIn is the best. And then I suppose by email or via my website.
That's awesome. Thank you. Mic drop moment. What are you going to leave our audience with that we haven't talked about yet?
What have we not talked about?
Ah,
And then actually, we've covered quite a lot of things. I think maybe I'd like to say that as women, we have a hard time and a difficult job juggling everything. And I think, don't let it get to you. Don't consider it a weakness or a handicap. We have a different way to develop and get better at things. Try to embrace every moment and enjoy that journey of self-discovery. There's time for everything. Be brave, be brave.
I love the journey. The first step to any journey is the key.
Full of little turns and you don't know what's around the corner, but that's fine as well.
Nathalie, you're amazing. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure chatting to you. Really been. Thank you very much for your questions and for making me feel comfortable. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.